We were robbed by prostate cancer. It's a long story, but I'll try to keep it short. We were soulmates, best friends, everything. See, on the summer of 1978, my best friend and I had ridden our bikes to town for the first time. Robert swore that that was the first time that he had laid eyes on me. He could describe my bike, my clothes, the day, all of it. He would have been 8 and I would have been 9. He said that he was walking out of the malt shop with an ice cream cone that his dad had just bought him. And he said that we went riding by and that he looked at me in my eyes and smiled and thought to himself, I'll marry that girl someday. He said he told his dad that. Hey, that's the girl I'm gonna marry. And he said his dad scruffed his hair and said, you think so? And laughed. But that wasn't our last encounter. One day I rode my bike to the playground and was playing on the big swing sets. Out of nowhere came a boy. He walked right over to my bike that was laying on the ground and he grabbed it and smiled at me. I jumped off the swing set and chased after him all over the playground. He would stop and wait, but just before I could catch him, he would smile and take back off, pedaling away on my bike. Eventually, I was hollering and pleading and begging him to just give my bike back. A man that lived next to the school had heard the ruckus inside of his house, and he came out and hollered, you give her bike back now. Well, the boy stopped, smiled at me, and handed the bike over and said, I'm Robert. It was the first time I really seen that smile that promised fun and trouble all in one. And I would eventually become addicted to that smile. We ran into each other again in 1981. I was fishing Mission Creek and had gotten my line snagged at the bottom of the creek. I had waded out into the water to retrieve my hook so I wouldn't lose it because I had brought no other tackle. All of a sudden, little sticks started hitting me. They were flying towards me. I was standing there scared and dumbfounded, scanning the creek bed. And out stepped Robert with the same smile. He said, Charlena, shaking his head and grabbing my fishing pole. I got upset and I hollered, you're not going to take off with that too now, are you? And he smiled and said, maybe. But right now I'll show you how to get your hook unstuck without getting wet. And you know what? He did. I waded back to shore and we sat together on a nearby log. He said, I should have brought my pole so I could teach you how to actually catch a fish. I laughed and said, I could outfish you. He smiled and said, well, we'll see someday. We walked back down the trail to the little red and white footbridge and began to part our ways. As I was walking away, he hollered, hey, Charlena, I like your name. I turned around to look at him and I was blushing. And then I just continued to walk away. The butterflies in my stomach were insane. It was the first time that I had ever felt that. At the 6th grade dance later that fall, Robert walked up to me and asked if I would go steady with him. And what was there to say? But yes. He became my best friend. We would talk on the phone until we fell asleep. He would walk to my house and spend the days with me and Grandma. By 1987, we became parents. We raised our children and we raised each other. We were common law married in the spring of 1987. We exchanged our rings and our vows and pledged our lives to each other. I signed my name for the first time with his last name. On June 14th of 1991, we went ahead and made it official and was wed by the Justice of Peace in our small little town. My dad was a witness and even brought his shotgun. But we always counted the day that just us two swore to each other as the start of our marriage. This past June 14th, 2025 would have been our 39th wedding anniversary and 44 years together in all. On June 12th of 2021 was when we were delivered the horrifying news that he had prostate cancer, that it was stage 4 and metastasized everywhere. We cried, we grieved, and we delivered the news to the family and agreed that by the next morning light, we would fight. There would be no giving up until he called it. We tried every imaginable, natural, off the wall, and even most of the standard medical protocols. He lost tons of weight. The once large man that could give me the greatest bear hugs became frail and thin. He endured pain, and started having to use a cane. But we continued on. We camped, we fished, we cruised, and we lived as much as we could. October 11th, the cancer paralyzed him, and I was his caregiver. Never any hospice. I learned how to operate a Hoyer, the wheelchair, the hospital beds, all of it, right in our living room, and it was with honor. He would get emotional, hating his condition, and I would remind him, babe, you took care of our family and me. It is an honor to care for you. January 25th of 2024, as we sat holding hands, watching YouTube videos, I in the recliner that we had right up next to his hospital bed. It was as close to sleeping together as we could get. He said, Shar, I'm going to go. I said, what? He said, I'm going to pass away soon. I started bawling and I cried, no, please, baby, no, don't leave me. I can't do this without you. I crawled into his bed with him and I wrapped my arms around him and we both cried. Then he lifted my chin and looked into my eyes and said, I could never leave you. I never have, and I never will. I will always be with you. And he kissed my forehead, and I cried, how? How can I do this without you? And then he sang the chorus to one of my favorite Prince songs from back when we were teenagers. Just take me with you. I don't care where we go. I don't care what we do. I don't care, pretty baby. Just take me with you. He went on to tell me of all the things I must take care of. The expectations. No funeral, only a cremation. He said that he was here in a bed for months, and that those that really cared had already came. And he was not going to be a prop for people to come and act as if their stage was there to be set for them to do a grieving show. I was to watch over and help our little family get set in life. Continue to be Robert and Shar, doing the things that we loved. To remember to be strong. To tell our story. And to never, ever remarry. Oh, that silly guy is. And that's when my time comes, I shall be cremated too, and then our young men will carry our ashes into the mountains, surround them with tannerite, and do some target practice, that he and I would shake the mountains one last time. I think it's a great plan. Each day, I know that I'm one step closer to joining Robert again. One more day closer to us shaking those mountains. One last thrill. I will never forgive cancer, nor death, for taking my soulmate from me. We loved each other. We annoyed each other. We challenged each other. We laughed at each other. And even drove each other mad at times. But most of all, we carried each other. We carried each other through the challenges of life. Carried each other through the good times and the hard times and the dark times. We just carried each other through. Today is 586 days without him. Unimaginable, because before this, one night was unbearable. It is still so hard to fathom how this world keeps spinning, how the sun still rises without him here on this earthly plane. Everything else seems to change and continues to carry on, except my love for him. It is as it ever was, I still carry you. I carry you in my heart and on my mind. I will carry you, me, and us until we meet again. Here we go telling the story. You wait up for me, Daddy Elk Legs. I'm still coming for you.